Well, that's the house I was born in. Of course, it was remodeled after that, and they put dog houses on top of it, on the front and both sides, not on the back though.
Who's in the picture?
It's a large. It was a large house, and it had a storm cellar under it, a cellar where my mother kept canned fruit. She canned a lot of fruit, vegetables. And everybody canned vegetables back then.
What was your mother like?
She was a good cook. I can tell you, the best cook I ever saw. Martha Elizabeth.
Martha Elizabeth. So you named your daughter after her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't ever know that.
My dad's name was Robert. Everybody called him Bob. For short.
Yeah? What was your dad like?
Oh, he was he was a large man. He weighed about 250 pounds. And he wasn't really fat, he was just large.
Pretty strong guy?
He felt like Josh.
Yeah.
Only he was taller than Josh.
Well, that's pretty big.
He was over 6 feet.
What did he do for a living?
Farm and had a dairy, and he drove a truck and picked up milk and hauled it to Conway every day.
How long did he have the milk run for?
My daddy?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess 15, 20 years he run that route. When he died, my brother took it over. Harold. He was a pet of the family. He got anything he wanted, and
Were you jealous of him?
sometimes he and Emil, my other brother, we had a fight one time. My mother got between us and we broke her rib.
Was she upset?
Yeah, she was upset.
That was you, Harold, and Emil?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you guys fight a lot?
Emma, that's the only time all three of us ever really had a fight. Emma and I were fighting Harold. He was older than us. I don't remember what we got into it about. This was in Naples, Italy, and this was right behind our airport. Joined this cemetery, and the Americans had bombed it before we got there, bombed the airport, and some of them dropped in the cemetery and blew all the doors off the vaults. We had one guy that went over and picked the gold teeth out of those skulls. That's true.
How many did he get?
I don't know, he had a tobacco sack, he could put them in the back. They would have shot him. Oh yeah, there was 4 of them. They took off about daylight one morning, and when they take off, they circle the field till they all get up. Then they got in formation, took off. There's a circle in the field. Most of them were all the way up in there, and 4 of them blew up. And one man. There's 44 men in those 4 planes, 11 in each one, and 1 man got out. Killed all the rest of them. Scattered over a grape vineyard. And after that, well, we had guards. Supposed to be guarding those planes, but they just drove up and down the runway in a Jeep. That's all they did. And after that, well, they put a man on every plane every night.
You said you had to go out and look for them, or?
Yeah, we didn't have to pick anything up. All we had to do was they gave us some white cloth. They tore them in strips, and there's a grape vineyard all around, and if we found a part of a body, we had to tie a white rag on a grapevine. I found a man's arm and still had his watch on. I started to get that watch, but I couldn't do it. I didn't want to touch it.
Was it pretty hard being in the service back then?
Not as bad as. It wasn't too bad right there where we were. We were right down the boot heel of Italy. But when we landed at Naples, you could set your watch by those planes at night at 7 o'clock. They was there every night bombing.
Were you ever worried you were going to get bombed?
Huh?
So were you ever worried you were going to get blown up?
Yeah. They bombed that field where we were. We was in trenches though. Some of the boys, nobody got killed. Some of them got hit with shrapnel on the side of the head or arm or someplace like that. They were standing up watching them instead of being in the trenches. So some of them got Purple Heart scratch.
For not doing what they were supposed to?
Huh?
Said for not doing what they were supposed to?
No, they're
Staying down?
they're supposed to be in those trenches, but they weren't.
Did you have any close calls?
Not really.
Yeah.
I had a German that nearly knocked me out one night. We don't know what this Italian's house, and he was there. We didn't know. I didn't know he was German even. Boy, he laid me out. I had to go to the doctor and get my lip sewed up where he hit me. And boys with me, he knocked him out. He knocked him down, but he run off then. We wouldn't know that he was German until the Italian hadn't told us. Well, he hadn't killed me. I don't guess he had a gun or he would have.
How long were you on the boat coming over there from the U.S.?
I was 18 days going over, and I think about 16 coming back.
What was the boat ride like?
Huh?
And what was the boat ride like?
Oh, it was bad going over there. It wasn't too large a boat, and there was 3,500 on there. And it took them all day to feed us twice. 2 meals a day is all we got. Coming back, I rode just a small Liberty ship coming back. There wasn't about 125 of us on there. And we lived like kings. Well, I'm not lying, boy, they fed us, and you could go down to the kitchen and get soup anytime you wanted. They made good soup. You was hungry, you could go down there anytime you want to eat. It wasn't that way of going over there, though.
So were you a war hero when you got back to the States?
No, I didn't feel like one.
Did people treat you different?
Yeah, they treated us pretty nice.
How long did that last?
Not long.
No.
We landed up New York, and oh, they treated soldiers like kings up there. I mean, they did. Better than any place I ever was while I was in the service. I went to school in New York, lived in New York on 29th and Broadway in a hotel. We lived in a hotel. We had a mess hall down the basement, and we went to school over in Brooklyn.
That was when you were a kid?
No, that's when I was in the service.
Oh, okay.
Lived in a hotel, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
We did.
That's all right, huh?
Huh?
I said, that's all right, huh?
Yeah, it was nice.
Probably some of your best times in the service?
Huh?
So probably some of the best places you stayed, huh?
Oh, New York was a soldier's town. I mean, it was a soldier's town.
That was just that's when you came back from the war?
No, that before we went.
Oh, okay. So did you get drafted or you just joined?
I joined.
You just wanted to go over there and fight for your country?
I joined before the war broke out. I went in July, and December's when Pearl Harbor got bombed.
Did you know the war was coming?
No, I didn't know the war was coming.
I mean, Germany had already started.
Well, they don't really. It's just it was us pacifists. We had going to get a week off for Christmas. They bombed Pearl Harbor and they canceled all that, and we didn't get to go home.
Well, so what made you join? Were you just... Why'd you decide to go into the Army?
There's three of us. I had a cousin and another boy lived there, close to us. We started going there, and I said, let's just go join the Air Force. So all three of us went down and we joined. One of these boys and I stayed together about 2.5 years. I mean, everywhere he went, I went.
What was his name?
Holderfield.
What happened to him?
He's dead now. He died. He stayed in the service and retired out like Mike, and he died about 5 years ago. He lived at Fort Smith when he died. We went to his funeral.
Did you visit him often?
Huh?
Did you guys ever talk after the war?
Ever talk?
Yeah, did you guys keep in touch?
Oh, yeah, we kept in touch with him, and I had a buddy lived down in Louisiana and one in New Mexico. And the one in New Mexico, him and his wife both died about 4 or 5 years ago.
So tell me about the bacon, when you stole the bacon or whatever. Tell me that story.
That's when we landed in Africa, and I had to stand half unload the boat. We stole his bacon out of his canned bacon. We got some eggs next morning from some Arabs. Just had an eggs out there, and we bought some. Lieutenant come by, and we was frying eggs and bacon. He said, where in the hell did you boys get that bacon? I offered him some, but he wouldn't take it.
Is that when you got your tattoos, when you were in the Army? Or the Air Force?
I went crazy. I wasn't feeling no pain when I got them, though.
Had a few to drink?
A little bit.
Yeah. Did you get all your tattoos at separate times?
I got them all at the same time.
Tell me about them.
These faded out. I went to the doctor the other day, and the nurse says, my husband does that. I said, why don't you have him to trace over them? She said, he can make them look good. See, these faded out on it. Yeah, sun all that.
Did your buddies get tattoos too?
One of them did.
Yeah.
He was with me. Tucker. He's dead too. Tucker. He came to see me after. He stayed in, retired out of service too. Him and his wife came to see me. I got out in 1945, about August, somewhere along there. And him and his wife came to see me the next year. He had 2 little kids.
How come you didn't stay in?
I didn't really want to.
Were you not cut out for the Air Force?
Yeah, I was cut out. I had a good job. I got a bad deal when I was in the service. There was about 15 of us got out of school. When we come back to New York, we got down in Georgia, and is the 38 Air Depot group that we went overseas with. They were just ready to leave, and they transferred us over, all 15 of us over in their outfit. Well, they'd put out all the ratings, and we didn't get nothing. Went overseas, and I stayed there about a year and a half with this outfit. I finally made PFC. I was transferred in the B-24 bomber group. Worked there about 3 months, and I replaced a master sergeant, and I had 2 corporals working under me. I went in and talked to the captain, and he said, "Martin, anything I can do about it?" I says, "All the ratings are out, and I can't do nothing about it." So there I went again. I didn't get nothing. When I got out, I was still PFC. Oh, yeah, I had a chance to ride in a P-38. I'm sorry I didn't, but the chaplain was flying it. They made a piggyback in it, took everything out of it. He landed down about 100 miles from where we were, and the indicator showed the wheels up, but they were down. He's afraid to take off in it, so we flew down there in B-25 and took a pilot, and I finally started getting in, and he said, "Martin, you want to ride back with me?" I said, "No, I don't believe I do." I was afraid we'd get those wheels up and they wouldn't come back down. I wish that he got in that I had, though. That was some plane. Now, that was some plane. Well, after my dad died, before my dad had died, we was milking cows. And in fact, we was milking 38 cows by hand. I've milked as high as 15 cows one night. Usually about 4 or 5 of us I would serve the milk, and sometimes they wouldn't all be there. Something happened. I have to milk 10 or 12 cows by myself, and after my dad died, we still, I wasn't large enough to farm by myself then, but when I got up about 18, I started farming. My mother and I lived by ourselves, and that's when I bought the horses. And the year I farmed, I'd made a crop the year I joined the service. Cotton, corn, soybeans. I sold those horses, and when I got out of service, I bought them back.
Who'd you sell them to?
One of my friends there in Martinville. But I didn't use them a lot. After I come back, I bought a tractor and started using the tractor. Before I went to service, all I used those horses. I'd ride in cultivator. I rode that thing and plowed.
Were you a pretty good horse rider?
Huh?
Were you pretty good at riding a horse?
Oh, yeah. We always had horses to ride. Good horses.
Did you ever ride horses, Josh?
Yeah, I've ridden them. Not many, though. When was the last time you rode a horse?
Lord, it's been a long time. I don't remember. Last one I rode, I guess, is the year I quit farming.
Do you enjoy riding them?
I didn't, huh?
Do you enjoy riding horses?
Oh, sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't. Used to round up the cows at night sometimes with them. In the wintertime,
Is he talking loud?
we didn't have any, in the wintertime used to, everybody just let their horses and cows run out in the wintertime. There wasn't no law about keeping them up. And below where we live, you know, there's a big bottom down there. They go down there, and we'd have to go down there and hunt them up. And, not every day, but most of the time we did. Most of the time they'd come up at night, but not always.
What's the most number of horses you ever owned?
Huh?
What's the most number of horses you ever owned?
Two's all I ever owned. My dad, he had 4 or 5 team of mules all the time. 4, I know. He always had a couple of hard hands. He raised a lot of cotton, potatoes, mostly cotton and potatoes. He didn't, he had it done. And he hauled milk to Conway every day, picked up school kids, hauled them, school kids and milked on that bus you saw down there. Everybody knew him. Everybody between Martin and Conway knew him too. And my sister Hazel lived here for years. You knew that my oldest sister married this guy, and she died. Then my younger sister married him.
Oh, I'd never heard that.
You never heard that?
Married the same guy, huh?
Yeah. They lived out here on, I can't think the name of the street now.
What was the first lady's? What was your first sister's name?
West Pima. Huh?
What was your first sister's name? The older one?
Floyd.
Floyd, and then it was the other
Hazel.
So he married Floyd and then Hazel?
Yeah. Lived here in Phoenix. He drilled wells here. He drilled a well at a nudist colony here one time. He said them people, yeah, he didn't like that much. He said he got embarrassed watching them people walk around there naked. He was kind of a bashful type guy anyway. He was a nice fellow though. We used to come out here. I got out of service in 1945, and we come out here nearly every year after that till she died. She got sick, she had cancer, and come got her, took her back. She called me one night and said, "I'm ready to come home." And she lived with us till she died, about 3 months.
Was it pretty hard for you?
Yeah. She gave me $34,000 though. I gave my brother's part of it, not much. She told me to keep it all.
Yeah, what was your first job?
My first job, the first job I ever had, I guess, was in California. Working for a guy, we poured foundation for houses. I went to California twice and worked there. This cousin of mine, you talk about hard times. There was hard times when we went out there. About 1938, I guess it was. 37, I guess. And when we got there, I had $1.25 and he had 25 cents. He had a 28 model Chevrolet, and we drove that thing out there. He had a job and I didn't though. You know, I didn't dawn on me what I was going to do when I got out there if I didn't get a job. But he was working for his brother. His brother is in the same business that I worked at. His brother told me the day he got there, said, "I can get you a job tomorrow if you want to go to work." I said, "I want to go to work." He called up a guy he knew, and I went to work the next day and boarded with his brother.
How much were you making?
50 cents an hour. 38. I worked with 75 cents a day.
What were you doing?
Huh?
Doing what?
Farming, having people farm.
When was that?
Oh, that's 36, 7 long years. And another guy cut wood for $1 a rick and delivered it.
How long did that take you to cut it?
Cut a rick? We'd cut about 2 ricks a day, make up $1 a piece. We could have cut more than that, but we didn't. It was rough back then. Nobody had any money. Huh?
What'd you do for fun?
Really, we didn't do anything much. We always had a ball team there in Martinville. I played baseball a lot. That was fun. Every Sunday night we'd have singing at one of the churches there, and we'd go to singing. Walk some girl home. Didn't have no car.
When did you get your first car?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I guess I was about 20 years old when I heard my first car.
Talk a little louder, Lem.
No, it's fine. It's fine. When did you,
It was a 32 model Chevrolet. Pretty good old car. I give $65 for it.
That's a pretty good deal.
It was a good deal. They had a dump out this side of Conway back then, and they drug old Model Ts out there and just left them there. Nobody wanted them. If I'd have picked all of them up and kept them, I'd have been rich today.
Tell me about Christmas growing up.
Oh, I didn't have much Christmas when I was growing up. I told you about going to the church and the watch, didn't I?
Yeah, tell me again.
This doctor out of Little Rock owned a farm over there, and they built churches on it. And they were having a Christmas party, and I went over there, and this doctor got up and said, any of you boys that didn't get anything for Christmas, hold up your hand. And that 5 or 6 of them held up their hand. He gave them a $1 pocket watch. And I wouldn't hold my hand up. I didn't want anybody to know I didn't get anything for Christmas. Not all we got was oranges and sometimes candy or something like that.
Did you spend time with your family on Christmas?
Huh?
You just spent time with your family on Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
That was the main thing?
We always had plenty to eat, but we didn't have any money. Of course, we grew nearly everything we ate back then. My mother canned stuff. I used to pick wild blackberries. She'd can them. They're pretty good. You never did eat any wild blackberries, did you?
No.
They're better eating than those tame ones. Those old tame ones, I can't eat them. They seeds are too large. Those wild ones had real small seed and you could chew them.
1950, you had a daughter, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell me about her?
There's not too much to tell. What I remember most about it, she cried for a month. Every night, kept us awake. We finally took to the doctor and he put her on a milk formula, and we took her home and gave her a bottle, and she went to sleep and slept all night. She was a good baby.
Did you enjoy being a dad?
Oh, yeah. I never did whip her. I never did paddle her. She done the paddling. But if I started to, that's a different story. She didn't want me to touch her. I didn't really want to paddle to begin with.
He didn't need to tell that.
No, he didn't need to.
Well, you wore her out a lot of times. And when she got up old enough to date, well, Dean wouldn't go to sleep till she got home if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Then she'd get up and give her a 3rd degree.
How did you feel about your daughter dating?
It didn't bother me.
Did she ever come home with anybody you didn't like?
No. Mike come down there about 1 o'clock one morning. Dean tried to get me to get up and run him off. I got up, went out there and talked to him, but I didn't run him off.
I can hear him.
Was it a pretty good, was she a pretty good student, pretty good daughter? She ever do anything you didn't like?
Yeah, she's a good student. She made pretty good grades.
Tell me again about when you hit the nail, when you hit your eye with the nail and all that.
I was putting in windows aluminum windows in a house. I hit that nail with a hammer and it come right straight back and the head stuck in my eye. And the head of the 6-penny nail, and it put my lights out. I had to pull it out. It's splattered. I was off work a year at that thing. I didn't hit a lick. Drawing workman's comp for a year. That was in '72. Well, I was drawing $50 a week, and that's pretty good money then. And I said, boy, if I could draw this, I never would have hit another lick. $50 a week. Wouldn't pay the light bill now.
Good deal. So what's the best deal you ever got on anything?
Oh, I used to buy tractors and sell them. I made pretty good money on them. I made about $225 on most of them. I have some of them I made less than that on, but most of them I made about $225 on. I'd go up North Arkansas and buy them at a 2-ton truck, cowboy, Chevrolet, haul 2 at a time so I could haul. In fact, I bought 26 tractors off of one guy up there one year. That's when they started making those large tractors, and they had those little small tractors just lined up all around, everywhere. I bought tractors for $125. It had been run through the shop, painted, hauled them home, sell them about $250 or something.
Tell me all about the spring again.
Pinnacle Spring?
Pinnacle Spring. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there used to be a hotel there at one time. My granddad owned it. It was 40 rooms. One year they had a college up there. And it was a hack. You know what a hack is? It's a buggy that's got 2 or 3 seats on it. And twice a week in Conway they'd come up there, bring people and take people back twice a week. And this, did you read that thing on this? It's got about what that water would cure and all that stuff. I couldn't believe it. And Leah still owned it. She was offered $8,000 for that the other day. I told her, I said, you better sell it. Guy, last time I was home, no, it wasn't last time, the time before I was home, that guy asked me, he thought I still owned it. He asked me what I'd take for it. I said, well, it belongs to my daughter. I said, what would you give for it? He said, I give $8,000. 2 7/10 acres. Up on the creek, yeah. You went up there, didn't you?
Yeah. You think it's not? You think $8,000 is a pretty good deal?
Yeah, that's a good
So did
deal.
she sell it or not?
No, she didn't sell it. She had it on. She could probably get $15,000 for it.
Mm.
Becky sold 37 acres for $2,000 an acre. Hadn't been too long ago. But it's open land, though. It's good land.
Okay, why don't you tell me about her?
What do you want to know about her?
Tell me about the first time you met her. How'd you meet her?
Oh, I met her in school. I went to school with her. And she used to board with my mother and me for 2 years and taught school at Martinville.
And how was that? Did you like her when you first met her?
Oh, yeah. My mother, she couldn't hear good, and she'd go to bed and we'd do a lot of smooching.
Oh, Leon. That wasn't true.
Well, we did.
Did she used to like that sort of thing more?
Huh?
Did she used to like that sort of thing more?
That what, smooching?
Yeah.
Oh, she loved it.
Who?
Oh, somebody else, not you.
Not you.
No.
Not me.
I used to tell everybody that we lived together 2 years before we got married. She lived up there 2 years, went to school, taught school.
And so why'd you decide to marry her?
When I was in the service, I got
When you what?
a furlough and came home and we got married.
So did you get down on one knee and all that?
Huh?
Did you get her a ring and get down like this?
Lord, I didn't have 15 cents to buy a ring.
So how'd you propose?
Huh?
How'd you propose to her?
I said, let's just go get married, and she said, I'm ready.
She didn't mind that, huh? Okay.
She taught school, and she'd fuss at them kids all day, and she'd come home and try to boss me like she did them kids. That didn't always work, though.
That didn't always work.
Is that all about you? Is that all you got to say about her?
That's enough.
How many years you guys been married so far?
I think I guess it's 62 years.
How long?
62?
Or
Oh, we
60,
haven't been married that long.
61 years. Nearly 62.
I went up there to teach school, and while I was up there, why I boarded with his mama, and he wasn't there then, but he came home, and
He was in California.
so as he came home, we got sort of started dating, you know, just a little bit. But that's about all.
You liked him?
Oh, I don't know if I liked him or not, but anyway, I kind of got used to him.
Tell them about how we used to smooch.
Oh, we didn't used to smooch.
Come on. Never?
We never smooched.
Did you ever kiss him?
No, I never kissed him.
No. 61 years of marriage and you never kissed him?
No.
But you did have a daughter with him.
No, I didn't have a daughter.
You have a daughter.
I have a daughter now,
Yeah.
and she's a daughter.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Okay, tell me about teaching school.
Well, teaching school, I had I had first three grades.
You've had first grade for a while.
I had first three grades, and then fourth, fifth, and sixth. Somebody else had that.